this is going to be something really different. Really, truly. I have said that before, but this one's really going to be different. We're doing something we've never done before. We are having 2 audience members give us their real life challenges in terms of what they're looking for in terms of strategy. And Rose is going to walk them through how to prompt appropriately to get the best answers and the best strategic thinking. Okay, so who's Rose? Rose helps ambitious professionals discover AI applications that could really actually change careers. She combines her background in agile methodologies with strategic thinking frameworks to help professionals gain competitive advantage through AI. She's guided more than 200 leaders, and here's her superpower. She helps people uncover hidden applications of AI, and she explains it really easily. So it's not just about using AI for writing better or being more productive, but for more strategic issues like workplace dynamics, career advancement, and really complex problem solving, uses that probably most people have not yet explored. She's the founder of Design Rosetta, and she believes that AI's greatest potential isn't just in automation, but in amplifying human strategic intelligence. So when I first met Rose to discuss this interview, she walked me through how I could have a back and forth conversation with AI, and she blew me away. So stay tuned until the end so that we can hear her live help these other people. And even if you don't have the same issues, it doesn't matter. You're going to get an understanding and a framework for how you can use AI more strategically. So there's a lot to learn. Stay tuned, and let's bring on Rose.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I am so excited for you to be doing this because really, we've never done this before. We've never had audience members and, do something live and people who weren't prepped for this really. So I'm excited.
Me too. It'll be fun.
Yeah. So let's just talk in a very broad term. As I said, people think about AI for better writing, research, productivity hacks. You're all about what else it can do. So let's talk kind of briefly and give an overview, and we'll certainly dive deeper a little later.
Okay. I think the thing that most people use it for are meeting notes, right? Like summarizing meeting notes, writing emails, and that's what the data says. And the data says that if you're just using it for that, you're really not getting time back in your schedule and in what you're trying to do. And you're also not getting the benefit of a couple, 20, 30 extra IQ points that you could be getting. So what we want to try and do is have AI write prompts for you, have AI have a conversation with you, just like it's your smart colleague. And you're talking about what problem you're working on, what you're trying to do. And we're just going to give you ways of having how to talk to an LLM, basically a large language model, in a way so that you get better results.
Can I just ask you to just very quickly, because I know some people may not know what an LLM is. Can you just define that?
Yeah. A large language model. It's the AI tools you keep hearing about. It's ChatGPT, it's Claude, it's Gemini. It's the chat tools that you have to be able to use AI, think better. And I think very often people just type in, they don't realize that you can take pictures or videos or any number of inputs and put those in and get those out. And there's a lot more you could do than you might have realized.
Wow. Okay. So talk more about how we can use AI to think more strategically. How do you actually go about that?
You ask better questions. So you're asking, how should I be thinking about this? Who are the world's experts in this area and how would they approach this problem? Or I've done it this way in the past. Is this the most effective? If I've used StoryBrand for my marketing website, is that still the most effective? Is that the most effective for the demographic I have? I have an audience that I'm aiming towards with this. Who else might I sell to? Just sort of thinking about other options or other possibilities. We also tend to I teach people how to think about it like what are you trying to do? What's your role? And then what are the deliverables you're trying to make? What are the challenges? We'll go through all those in details, but I think
Okay.
really just trying to think about anything you're doing. You should start your day, like you write or you think or whatever, but anytime you kind of start a task, you should start trying to use AI into it, work AI into it. And eventually, as you get better, you might be able to make tools to make your process for doing that much faster.
Okay, we need to unpack a whole lot of stuff that you just said. If you can talk later about AI agents and creating your own, great. Don't worry, everybody.
Not today.
Not today. Okay, it's too much. So let's just, for example, my day today. Okay, I started my day going through all the questions I wanted to ask you and making sure that things were aligned to hopefully run smoothly with this, even though we're doing something different. And that's all I've done all day besides get showered. Literally, what would you recommend? How might I have started that day? I mean, it's kind of a different day for me also.
I think you did. That's great. If you had it ask you questions, if you had it say, what do most training sessions cover? What might she be covering that's different? You might be asking, what are the struggles most people have? You might be thinking about, where do I want to take lean in? Like, how does this talk fit in with our larger strategy for this group of, New York City lean in? And what might we want to emphasize around that in terms of our questions? You might use it to know, like, if you might have taken your list and uploaded like questions that have come up in prior episodes, like transcripts from prior things, and seeing what are the types of questions people tend to ask. You could do, what are the feedback we've gotten from prior events and what might we incorporate in this event to make it better? I mean, just any number of things.
So I think what I'm hearing is, in order to get AI to think more strategically for you, with you, you need to think more strategically too. So would it make sense, for example, for someone who's not very good at strategic thinking, can you use AI to say, I'm not very good at strategic thinking, but here's my issue. How can you help me think more strategically? Or how can you help me?
That's perfect. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Just like you're talking to your smartest colleague, I'm trying to get ready for this talk. How can you help me? Just ask AI, how can you help me? And so I didn't even say, like, I know you're going to probably do follow-up emails. It could take this recording and craft your follow-up emails for you. And if you're trying to nudge people into the next meeting, you could, create a series of, like, here's what we got the last couple of calls you missed. Come join us for this next one. And just use a lot of this to help make your life easier for the follow-up. So
I have a monitor over here. And basically what I'm hearing is keep one of the models open, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, etc. And basically pretend that's a really smart person and just speak English or whatever language you speak. Speak to it very plainly, like, I've got this issue. I need you to help me figure this out. And then I'm going to suppose something here. Because if I don't think strategically, then how am I going to know what to ask it? Can I ask the AI to ask me questions so that my answers can help them or help it or help whatever?
Yes, exactly.
Get to know better questions to ask me. Yes?
Yes, that's exactly what we do. We tend to say, ask me multiple choice questions, because if you just get asked an open-ended question, we get a little overwhelmed, we don't finish. And then you say one at a time, because you don't want a list of 20 questions and you can't and then if you have, so many of us have ADHD or we're just sleep deprived or what have you, any number of things, but you can say to ChatGPT, I have ADHD, frame it in a way that I can better understand it. Or if somebody's talking to you about a topic that you don't understand, AI agents or an LLM, you can say, tutor me on it. You can just get a description of it, but if you say tutor me, it'll teach you in a way that's more memorable.
How so?
So instead of just saying, what is this? You can say, tutor me on this topic.
Mm-hmm. And why is that better than just Googling it, let's say?
Okay, so if you have ADHD, it'll tailor it to your style. If you tend to like, you can tailor it to a tone. So I can say, for instance, I don't read news off the websites now. I just tend to say, give it to me in the tone of Michael Shea or somebody, a comedian, so that I can read the news. Or I'll say, take today's news and summarize how it impacts my business. Now, a year from now, and just, help me understand the implications. If you use one of the reasoning models, you can say, what are the implications of today's news on tariffs or on what have you? And what's that impact on me personally and professionally? And what might I do about it to mitigate the impact? And you can have it give you that. I mean, there are just so many ways you can use it. So AI is better than just Googling it, because you can have it put into a tone that works for you. You can have it look at the implications that are specific to you in your industry, in your role or your job. You can have it tailored to understand, we have this marketing plan and this news came out, or we have this production plan and this news came out. How will it impact my plan? You can have it really understand the impacts that are specific to you in a much more tailored way.
Okay, so previously you mentioned that, and people may not know this, that you can upload documents, you can upload photos, yes, graphics,
multimodal,
anything.
You can talk to it. Like a lot of people, I prefer to type, but a lot of people prefer to just click the microphone and speak much faster.
I did that in my car once. So
wonderful.
Yeah, better not to type when I'm driving 70 miles an hour. Okay, so in order for it to know you, what kinds of stuff do you have to tell it? So in a sense, you have to teach AI about you in order for it to respond in a way that's appropriate for you, yes?
Yes, and you can do that just as a start. This is, my name is this is the role I'm working in, this is the company I work for and the URL or the industry I'm working in. This is the goal of what I'm trying to do. Here are some of my constraints. You can ask it to prompt for you, because it's better at prompting than you are. And then, like we were just talking about, you can say, ask me clarifying questions, one at a time, multiple choice, to kind of get some more context. You can upload samples if you have a branding guide, or if you have, here's our way of doing this. Here's a sample of a proposal we did before. We want to use this format. We want to write in the tone of Mark Twain or Richard Feynman or whatever. You can tailor it to do what you can give it as much context. And we'll talk a little bit about it. We have a one-pager sort of describing the kinds of things you look at.
Okay, maybe we should dive into that. Okay, we do have a slide on that, right? So that would be slide 3. Let's talk about these scenarios, these 8 questions, I think. Yes, that's the next thing.
We can do that, yeah. For gathering context, we can do sort of these 8 questions. It's gathering context, but it's also thinking about, so first we have this. These are the kinds of things you can do with AI. You're trying to think better, you're trying to create, you're trying to communicate more effectively, make decisions, and learn new things. So we talked about tutor me instead of just getting content, because you'll learn it better. Mm-hmm. Decision trees, you can do all kinds of decisions and with lots of different variables and constraints, crafting in different tones, creating new things. But again, it's multimodal. So a really nice example of this was a painting company I'm talking to, training right now, and they take a picture of one of their projects, of one of the houses, and it's an ugly yellow. And the owner is trying to figure out, what color do I paint it blue? Do I paint it, what color do I paint it? And so that used to be a fairly difficult thing to visualize. But you can just upload it to ChatGPT and say, put it in Benjamin Moore Blue Harbor, and it'll update. But the other thing I thought was,
hold on. You're uploading a picture of your house, and then it'll respond with a picture of your house in a different color in this particular example.
And then even nicer, he said, we were trying to get landscapers and we couldn't get the upscale landscapers because they were completely booked. And the landscaper we got was just saying, put holly bushes. And I thought, oh, that's not gonna work. So we asked ChatGPT, here's the picture of the house. What's some upscale landscaping we can put in our area that'll be low maintenance and will look upscale? and it gave an image of what it would look like, and it gave the punch list of what plants to buy.
Oh my God.
And then you could say, like, what are the directions for planting them? And like, how do I have to maintain them? So it was a way for him to think about and make decisions, to learn like what other options they have, to communicate that with the client, to create imagery, and to communicate so that the client could make a better informed decision.
Right, because I would have no idea what shrubs, et cetera, to buy. So I guess
it's just a wonderful creative to do all of these things. You have a multimodal, so you can do a lot more than you might have thought.
Yeah, that's pretty apparent, and it's blowing my mind, and I bet it's blowing a lot of people's minds, that it isn't just about work, right?
Absolutely not, right? I mean, you be careful don't put your sensitive information that,
right.
If you have a free account, that information is going in to train their models, and you might not want to put your private stuff up there. But you might say, if somebody has lupus, what are the kinds of things that they should do?
Okay.
For instance,
lupus, for any that don't know, is a disease.
Right. Or it is an example, right? So
right.
Maybe the next slide will give us a few more ways of thinking about.
Okay.
How do you find opportunities all over? So if you
opportunities
ask, like,
for using AI, you're saying?
To make your life easier, yeah?
Okay.
So if you're just trying to chat with GPT, these are the kinds of questions you bring with you to figure out, as I'm starting my morning, how do I make my day easier using AI? And you might be thinking, what decisions am I making? Can I look at the patterns of all the prior attendees and of Lean In events this year, and what patterns, like who stays the whole time? Do people drop off? When do they drop off? Why might they be dropping off? If you're getting ready for this conversation, if you're trying to solve a problem or optimize an outcome, how do I do a LinkedIn post so that more people sign up? What scenarios am I planning for? What relationships am I trying to navigate? Difficult conversations I'm trying to have. And then in your job, we all have deliverables or reports or things that we're responsible for creating. We have processes that we have to create standard operating procedures for, metrics, and things that we're trying to improve. And so we have all these kinds of things that you can use AI to help you, because all of the internet and lots of knowledge is in there, and it can frame it in a way much more quickly, search through it and give it back to you in a way that's much, much quicker. Now, the advantage, most of the people in Lean In are probably senior, right? So you've senior in the sense of within their organization, with skill level. Mix, okay. But the more experience you have, the better results you'll know to be able to ask better questions. So you'll know, we might need more detail here. For instance, if you've managed a few projects, you know where some of the landmines are. So you might have a different set of questions you follow up with.
Just because experience will
experience exists.
It'll lend itself
lend it
to you, prompting it to prompt you better.
Correct.
That makes
sense. You might have a combination of things, and it's going to help you sort of navigate those multifaceted challenges. And then you can say, tailor it. We use entrepreneurial operating system or Scrum or whatever methodology your team may use, or I need to export this to Jira because I need to be able to upload it, or I need to export it in this format. Here's my template. You can upload a file, like put it into this structure. And if you look at it and it gives you oodles of results and you say, there's no way I have time for it. You say, I have an hour. What can you give me in an hour?
Wow.
Or you can say, TLDR, give me the TLDR. Too long didn't read.
What is that? Too long didn't read? Okay.
Right, the internet. Or you can do the Pareto. What's the 20% amount of work that's going to give me 80% of the results? And so that's another way to kind of shrink it down to something that's more manageable.
Okay, so let's see. I'd love to hear some real world examples of some of these. We probably don't have time for all of them, but some of these sort of situational questions. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I don't think we have the slide anymore for that, but sure, absolutely. So conversations, you might be negotiating for a raise. Patterns you're trying to understand. You're trying to understand which of my social media posts are actually getting engagement. You might be thinking about we have tariffs that are fluctuating all over. Like, what's our contingency plan? And at what point are the tariffs high enough that we're not going to make that product anymore? You might be thinking about, I'm trying to decide whether to take a new job or not. It may pay less, but I don't have to commute as far. I don't have to go into the office, or any number of things. Or you might say, I have to create a proposal, and I have all these sample ones. I want to take content from all of them, but I want to tailor it to this client. So you can upload a bunch of examples and have it help you draft an initial draft that you then update. Or you might decide, I need to write a book. I have all this knowledge. Let's upload my stuff and let's craft a draft book, and let's do it in a format that's like a business book, or let's do it in this way. And then you can walk through and sort of structure and think about your work in a more streamlined way.
I have a little bit of a tangent question, because what you're basically saying is you can have it do, and I'll put it in quotes, everything. Where does this end? Or does it?
No, I think there's still things you need people. Like, certainly knowing how to ask the questions comes from experience, right? And I think there's so many things that are human that you still need. But I think it allows you to automate, or to free up a lot of your time. I mean, people who go through AI training with me save usually about 30 to 50% of their time, right? I mean, that's what we're trying to do, is to help you create tools that allow you to do things that you do consistently much more quickly, and maybe delegate some of them to somebody that's less expensive, or to AI. And the reason you do that is that you have more time available to do the one-on-one, or the outreach with humans, to go to more events, to go talk to more people, because I think that's sometimes where the more meaningful work can happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, but also it's not just about saving time, because what you're also talking about here, and the whole idea of this using AI for strategic thinking, sounds to me like it's a lot of decision making. So for example, we talked about this, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but I am co-founding a startup right now, and I'm negotiating with my partner about what kind of ownership split we're going to have. Well, that's a big deal, right? Because if this works and it lasts a long time, it's going to have huge implications. Can you just talk about a little bit about where would I start with that? And we're going to soon get into our two hot seats, so that everyone can see in real time how Rose shapes the way
how you can shape, right? Not just me, you.
Okay. How everyone. So just real quickly, like, how would I even get started? What's the first question I would ask?
So I think you would talk to it just like you would talk to a person. You would open it up and say, I have this challenge. Here's what I tend to do. Here's what I'm good at. Here's what I've done in the past. You might copy your LinkedIn profile and paste that in. You might then describe the potential business partner and the same kind of stuff. You might describe the venture you're trying to create, who you're trying to serve, how you're trying to serve them, what your goals are, what your dream come true is, what you're worried about, what you've been burned in the past. All the things you're thinking, all that stuff that's swirling in your brain, you're just going to put it in there. And then you're going to ask it, I know this is a difficult conversation and this is a negotiation, and like, who are experts at doing that? And how would they advise me to do this? So you might do the difficult conversations piece, or you might do it from a negotiations point of view, but you might say, how would Chris Voss negotiate this? Or how would Seth Godin? You might have very different.
These are experts that she's mentioning.
Right. So you might, Seth Godin doesn't necessarily do those, but he does sometimes difficult conversations. You might do, how would each of them phrase it? And then you could also take like a LinkedIn profile, or if you know somebody really well, like, they're this kind of disc profile, or whatever information you know about the person you're talking with. You might ask it to frame it in a way that will resonate with them. And if you don't know anything about them, you might say, I'm talking to a CTO at this company. What style might resonate well with them?
Okay. Chief Technical Officer for those who are in the non-technical fields. So yeah, I consistently am blown away through about this. I keep saying it. Sorry, everybody. It just makes me
It's so much
blown
fun.
away. Yeah, it sounds like it is fun. You have something that I've called a prompt anatomy, and I think that's the fourth slide. And I think that's kind of interesting because it'll help put a framework around the different kinds of things that we should be including in our prompting. Is that right?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
So
You want to show the slide real fast and then talk through it?
yeah. Do you want me to present? Oh, there it is.
Sure.
Perfect. So we talked a little bit about this. You're talking about your role. You're giving your context. So Debra's trying to decide whether to be a business partner or what have you. You're doing this kind of context. We're trying to do this kind of task. Draw up a LinkedIn post, or it might be draw up a partnership agreement or business incorporation documents or whatever it is. You want to have a specific output format. You might use multimodal. You might upload files and images and videos, or you might ask for downloads of those. You can give it personalization, tailor it to this audience that I'm going after. My ideal customer profile is this. Make it in a tone that'll resonate with them, or for a specific person, or write it in the William Shakespeare style, whatever resonates for you. This one we've talked a little bit about the idea of clarifying questions. Ask me multiple choice questions one at a time. And then you can say, tell me how these experts might think about this task. And so I can see different ways of approaching it, and I can tell you which one I like better. And the other thing I didn't put in here, but as you do this, anytime you get a result, you say, okay, grade your result, your output for me, and tell me how we could do it better. And so then it'll say, this is actually almost always will say, this is pretty good, but it's only a B+. And it'll refine what it gave you as an output, just like you do. Like if you have time to go back and do a second version, you'll often improve it a little bit. And so it'll give you then an updated version. And so that works across the board too.
Well, hold on. Say that prompt again.
Yeah, I didn't put it on here. I didn't think about it. But just the idea of like grade this output, and how could, it'll grade it and it'll give you a new version based on what it suggests improving.
So then how do you decide which way to go? I mean, do you just assume that it in fact upgraded when it comes back with another response?
It'll give you its grade and its logic for why it gave you that answer of like what could be done better. And then it'll usually just give you the updated version. If not, it'll say, would you like a new version? And then you can look at both and say, I like this part of the first one and I like this part of the second one. Can you combine them, for instance?
Okay. So do you have any prompts that you just mentioned, clarifying questions that works across the board, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Get it to ask you questions so that it can give you a more well-rounded answer. And that works across the board. And you just said, if you always ask it to grade its response, that's something that will give you better output across the board. Are there any other sort of
all of this? You want to use all of this. You want to tell it the role and the context, what your outcome is that you're trying to do, samples of prior art, personalization. And then you're also going to want to say, if you're trying to build a tool that you can, or a prompt that you can reuse, you'll say, all right, given our whole thread of a conversation here, give me a prompt that I can use next time that'll work faster. So I won't have to go through these 20 steps. And it'll write that prompt for you. So you really shouldn't be taking these, 100 prompts for this. You should be able to build your own, or have AI build you one based on this kind of dialogue.
And save it somewhere, yes?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the paid version, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't save the history of your conversations. Is that right?
So worse, it'll save it in your free account. But then when you convert to a paid account, you'll lose all that.
Oh, okay.
And some
All
of the
right.
tools, and some of the tools. So
Okay.
I tend to actually, I am ridiculous, but I have a Microsoft Word document with oodles of prompts that I come back to regularly. But there are better tools to do that too. But that's the really basic. Put it in a Google Doc. Just make it easy.
Okay. Right. Okay. Let's see. I think it is time for our really deep dive examples of how to use this. So I would like to bring on our first guinea pig, our first hot seat, Betsy Elad. She has an interesting challenge. And again, even if this is not your challenge, and I bet there's not a single person listening who actually has the same challenge, I'd be shocked. Send me an email if you do, because really that would be shocking. But that's not the point. The point is, listen to how Rose guides that conversation between Betsy and AI. So Betsy, please come on and show us your prompt. Good, there you are. Hi.
Yay, hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this. What's the matter? You look like something isn't right.
We seem to have lost your voice. Yeah, there she is. I hear her now.
Okay. Can you hear us?
Yes, I made a mistake. Anyway, yes. Hi.
Okay. Your audio and your visual is not lined up, but no worries. Would you go ahead and share your screen, because you have your prompt in there, and go ahead and read your prompt. What?
How do I share my screen? Because I don't.
Aha.
Present.
Yes.
It says present.
Where? Oh, present. I see.
You can ask ChatGPT how to do it. Ask it to give you step-by-step instructions for how I can present.
But how
when
can
I'm on.
You can just take a screenshot and say, ChatGPT, what button do I press? But that's fine. You can just hit the present button, and if not, one of us can do it too.
Yeah, but so I've opened ChatGPT on and I prompted, but how do I share another tab?
Okay.
If you just click the present button, it'll come up. But
it should ask you which window or tab or screen you want to share, and then you click on it and click share. The word shared should be in the bottom right.
Guys, we didn't go through this. I'm so sorry. Google Chrome would like to record the computer screens. Deny.
Okay, let's not bother then doing that. Betsy, can you just...
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Rose, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, Betsy, if you give the description, I can share my screen and we can do the prompt on
great
on my screen.
Okay, so the description is, how can I strategically and steadily start and grow an at-home based artisan micro bakery in Bergen County?
Oh, that sounded so elegant. Okay. Let me share my screen.
Put it in the chat if you want me to.
I'm going to do entire.
Rose is going to put it into her chat, because she can easily share her screen, and that way people can see what chat is putting out, and then she's going to guide you with how to respond with other questions. Okay.
So I had your longer prompt you had originally sent, and I just took a screenshot and I pasted it in. I'd like to help, and you can see I'm messy. Can you guys see my screen?
I was going to say, if you can make it bigger, that probably is a good thing.
Oh, I don't know if I can. Okay. I don't think I can. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I'd like to help Betsy in her challenge. And so I just took a screenshot and pasted it.
Oh.
And
do you want to read what it says real quickly, Rose? Because it is a little hard to read.
Yeah. So what it said was, oops, this is the wrong one. Here it is. Are we doing that? Yeah.
Wow.
The challenge is to open a home-based artisan micro bakery based in Bergen County, New Jersey. I don't know any neighbors. I would like a direction and step-by-step planning as to how to go about starting this business, so it's a big success based on the quality of consistent products and repeat customers and gaining solid growth. What are the steps to achieve it? How do I market my bakery? How do I plan and execute to fill the orders? What are the right breads and things to make? What do I charge? How do I distribute? I want a branding direction. Should be modern and whimsy and speak to delicious food. The products could include these kinds of things. Build a business plan that speaks to all the above. How do I grow to become truly excellent? And I think at one point you had said you wanted to go into Whole Foods, but now I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, there it is. And I was just going to say, because I've heard from a number of people that Whole Foods can be a challenging route.
Oh, I know.
Might be. We might want to ask if there's a better way to do it. But first off, it gave you a quick business plan just based on exactly what you gave it.
Wow.
And what that looks like is, and I can make this a little bigger. It gives you an executive summary, a foundation and legal setup, product development and testing, pricing strategy, market customer acquisition, operations and scaling, distribution, branding, growth milestones, success metrics, and key success factors. But I think out of that, we didn't give it much context. So we're going to say, are you just a one-person company?
Exactly. So I better get to work.
No, that's why we're going to do this. Let's give more context. This is a one-person
Micro
company.
You say micro, very a small, very dedicated, specific bakery out of your home. And I actually, when I prompted you, I gave, I think, 3 or 4 different types of breads. I call myself B and S. So breads and spreads. So
okay.
So sourdough, focaccias.
It sounds delicious.
Delicious.
Yes. So let's give it some more context, because you're a one-person company. You're trying to do based, breads and spreads.
Out of my home.
What's your timeline? Do you want to be selling by the holidays this year?
I want to be selling. Yeah, that's a great timeline, because I figure that Thanksgiving. First of all, I'm starting a artisan bread making course. I'm really good at breads, but I want to feel that I'm on top of it as much as I can be. So I'm taking a 10-week course in New York City that starts in 2 weeks. That will end October 15th, right? So my plan is to start with actually not breads, but doing pies for the holidays. And then lead into that, giving samples and things of the breads, and in the winter get into the actual artisan bakery. So start with apple pie, pumpkin pies, pecan pies for Bergen County, for Demarest, Tenafly, Cresskill, 3 different alpine, different areas around Bergen County. They can either pick up from my home or use Uber Eats, or delivery is a big thing. What do I do? What's the best way to deliver? What's the best way to set up ordering? And then the idea, because I'm one person, is to put
no, it's fine. You're boiling the ocean, but here we go. It's good.
Just to put a limit.
Well, hold on one second. I'm going to interrupt you guys, because we only have another 5 minutes. Yes. So can we just go a little bit less deep into your actuality and look at how AI works?
Yeah.
And I think actually what we might want to say is, okay, we're going to, it's going, and I forgot. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
And
So
this is a paid version you have?
I have a paid version of this one. Yeah. But you'll get similar results on the free version. You'll just get stopped. You won't get to do as many cycles of prompts. But it tells you sort of complete your baking course, do the pre-orders and production, transition to bread. Wow. It's talking about you might need to apply for a license, the business registration, home kitchen inspection, right? Insurance, sales tax. Talks about how do you choose what pies, pick 4 to 5 types. So it keeps it simpler.
Yeah.
So why pies works. So it agrees with you that the pies first works. It has a higher profit margin.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Something happened and I didn't see it at all. On the right side is the output to the prompt you put in. But I see it was just writing on the left side. Did you put in another prompt without me seeing
I did not. Oh, that's a great question, too. I'll close this. This in here is the summary of the whole output. So it's saying basically, here's the revised plan, why it works, key actions, it says skip Uber Eats. It says use a Google form for pre-orders, home pickup, text and WhatsApp for neighbors that want personal service, do a single payment, either a Venmo or Zella, and set a realistic goal. 30 to 50 pies total would be an excellent for your first season to generate enough to test. And then we can,
that's great.
You have the full details here of what you do by week. And if you needed it in more detail, we could do that too. So literally tell me what I need to be doing.
And ask for more strategic specification or whatever within any given area. Correct?
Anything you have a question on. Anything you have a question on. So if you can't get your, or if you need to do a contingency plan, if for instance, your kitchen doesn't pass whatever local inspection, can you rent a kitchen, a commercial kitchen? And like, what does that look like? And then you might have to bake on fewer days. And what is, and what would be your contingency plan? So you could have it help you do that. Or you could say, I know you said to only sell 50, but I sold 100. How do I do it? For instance.
How do I do it? Which is, okay, that's great. Would other platforms give me the same, different, or in today's AI platform world? So if I was using Gemini versus Claude versus...
It's a great question. So if you're using Microsoft Copilot's great for workflow automations and tying into all your documents, but it's not as good, even though they work with OpenAI. And the data says that. The people that just use Microsoft Copilot don't get as good results, don't use it for as many things because it's not as good. So Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini are much better.
Interesting. Great.
Can you take whatever output, or not can you, but would it be a good idea to take the output of one and throw it into another and say, what do you think of this response to such and such a prompt?
Or what would you do more or different?
Yeah.
Make it better.
Yeah, you can do that. You can also prompt them side by side to see what the results come out with. And you'll see one. You'll find they're good for different things. Like I tend to think the implications processing stuff on OpenAI is good, and the writing on Claude is really beautiful. I think they're both good, but I think Claude's slightly better at the writing. And it's just interesting to see what the logic's a little better to me on the OpenAI, but it varies. I mean, they're both good.
So just for bringing it high level again, Claude is good for writing. OpenAI's Copilot.
You know what? I would ask any of the tools and what they're best at versus the others. What are and that would be, because that's an ever-changing thing, right?
Right. Okay.
As you'll use it, you'll see like, oh, this one just got a big bump.
Okay.
They just incorporated all the things that used to be the advantage over here. They're now over here because they're all, they're all trying to one up each other. And if somebody has something and they don't, the other one's going to copy it.
Got it. Betsy.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was helpful?
That's
Are you surprised by what it did?
I was surprised at the depth of information. Yeah. And I mean, obviously I only saw the surface writing of it, but it's a lot, and it seems very in depth and a great jumping off point. Yeah.
Fabulous. All right. Well, you can get a copy of this and, actually really continue on with it.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much. That was great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it, Betsy. And
Bye-bye.
can we talk to Gail now about her challenge, her real world, actual current issues that she's dealing with and needs to think through more strategically.
Perfect.
So, Gail, come on in. Hopefully. Well, while we're waiting for her,
there I am. I think I'm okay. Hello.
Hello, Gail.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Do you want to read through your prompt?
I made
actually
the screen while Betsy was and Rose were talking, and I actually went on to ChatGPT and say, how do I share my screen? And it gave me a suggestion. So I'm going to try something. Okay. And if it doesn't work, I apologize. Okay.
You want to shift your computer a little bit so that your face is more in the middle of the screen?
Hang on.
We're only seeing half of you right now. There you go.
Is that okay? Okay. I'm going to have to, it's not sharing, so I'm going to have to read it. Is that okay?
Actually, then if you can't share it, let Rose, you say it, Rose will type it. She can type very fast, and then she will guide the conversation between you and ChatGPT or whatever.
Okay. It's kind of long, but I'm going to read it anyway. Okay.
Can you shorten it a bit, because we only have a certain amount of time? Just kind of get.
Okay. All right. I am a self-published children's picture book author. This is my second career. I have some challenges. I want to attract a larger audience on Amazon, and I'm really challenged with email and social media. I'm not the most tech savvy. I do have an Instagram, but I only now have 8 posts. I don't know how to keep in touch with people through email to let them know what's going on with my writing and publishing. And I also want to create some type of a blog or newsletter with themes that relate to my life, my writing, and the characters in my book. In my books, I do have a Substack created, but I don't know how to use it. So the challenge is, how can AI help me with all of these? I'm assuming it's going to provide suggestions and give me a calendar with a to-do list, but I want to know if it can help me even more. And I don't really know what questions to ask it at the moment.
That's a good challenge.
Okay.
Yes, Rose?
Yes. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yeah, again, it's small though.
I'm sorry, I can't change that zoom
Okay.
on the desktop version. So I just added context. I took the original full email I had of your thing, and I just asked it. It said, yeah, AI can be a huge help for building your author platform, and you want to generate keyword-rich book descriptions and metadata to improve discoverability and compelling content ideas. Kindle Direct, KDP Select. You want to do a author bio and advertising strategies. I happen to know, because I've done this too. We might say, can you suggest experts for each of these? I should model. So, for instance, I know for Amazon, you might be looking at Dave Chasson's or self-publishing schools. Both are good. And the email strategy as well, social media, how to set up Substack. If you're doing Substack writing, you might look, Nicholas Cage. Cole has a whole bunch of stuff about Substack and writing and organizing and planning. But and can you give a? And I'm going to say, can you suggest an expert for each of these and improve this plan? Instead of asking it to grade it, we're going to ask it to just improve it, because I know we're tight on time. Oh, see, I didn't even know Karen Inglis for children's books, so that's great. This is why we ask. There are people that have literally optimized email marketing and newsletter strategies for children's book authors. I think that's magnificent.
Wow. So I'm going to stop you right there for a second, because as I said earlier, even if people in the audience don't have the same challenge, I didn't know that you could do that either. So I do email campaigns all the time, and I'm sure a lot of people in the audience do. So the fact that you can just say, suggest experts so I can, up my game in my email campaigns is kind of a big deal, because you can get that learning and those examples, let's say, much faster. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other part of it is, you can now go look and say, oh my gosh, I really like Book Nerd Mummy. And you can say, craft me posts in the style of this social media account that I like. Gives you who to follow. And you could say, so if you wanted to dive into this, we're going to say, give me the 80-20 for a one person doing all this. How much time do you have a week, Gail, to do this?
I'm flexible. Let's put it that way. I do have some time. I'm a retired teacher, so I have some time.
So like 10 hours a week, 20 hours
Sure.
a week?
Yeah, let's go 10.
20 hours, 10 hours? What are you thinking?
Just do 10.
30 hours? You're
She
retired.
wants
You want a
to,
full-time
wants to
job.
enjoy her retirement in a different way. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, here you go.
So you were right. It gives you a whole timeline of what to do.
And it's so nice, right? You batch. Social media batching is such a godsend, right? You don't have to do that every day. So it tells you by 2-hour blocks sort of what to try and do.
Wow.
Focus on doing your Substack first and your Instagram and some lead magnets. I don't know. Do you know what lead magnets are?
No.
Let's ask.
Let's
ask.
Oh, we can.
I know what it is and you know what it is, but I mean, I'm taking it from other audience members' point of view where if they didn't know a word that is used in the response,
right.
What do you do with it?
There you go. So it's an exchange to get somebody's email.
Wow.
It's a marketing term, if you will.
Yeah.
But that's what's interesting too, because if you're reading the output of whatever chat or whatever gives you, and you don't understand something, you can just go back and say, wait a minute, what does that mean?
And so it gives it also, again, in the way that the experts they suggested would do it. And then we can also look back here. It tells you what to do by day, the tools that might help you do that, what to ignore. Pick one platform and master it. And it's saying Instagram. Your big rocks that you're going to do at least once a month. What are your metrics that you're measuring to make sure you're getting progress of what's working and what's not? And you're better off doing a few things well rather than many things poorly. Does that help? Is there anything you want to ask or continue?
No, am I going to get a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay.
If you follow up with me, absolutely.
It's hard to read. One of the things I have noted about ChatGPT, because I've used it in other contexts, is that when I say to that, you got to slow down. I don't understand what you just said, or can you walk me through it step by step? It backs up. It's very kind and very polite, very empathetic. I call it.
Absolutely.
I try to give it a gender every once in a while, he or she. And I get those itemized steps. And if I say, you said to press this thing, but I can't find it. It looks for what platform you're using or what it's so helpful. So I'm really excited to kind of delve into this and see if this is going to be helpful. And I'm sure it will be. Thank you.
I am too.
Absolutely. And I would say also, you might say, like, if you just don't know how to use Canva, how do I do this? And you can buy templates, and you can also do a batch process where you upload a whole bunch of quotes and get them put up there. There's so many things you can do to make this easier. And I'm happy to follow up with you. It's a fun project.
Thank you.
Gail, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Good. I knew it was going to be good. Okay, so we have 5 minutes left, and I want to talk about the discussion that you and I had yesterday. You meaning Rose and I, not AI and I. There's so much to learn here, and what I'm about is satisfying curiosity and helping people to learn new things. It's so much fun, and I think that it really will have a kind of a big effect on your life in terms of productivity, writing better, image making, and strategic thinking. So I'm going to ask you one more question, Rose.
Good.
If everyone's scared of AI taking their jobs, etc. So what advice would you give to someone who's trying to kind of future-proof their career regarding the use of AI?
I'd say you have to keep up. Like, it's just use it to save time so that you can continue to learn the new tools and learn how you can be more effective. And there's such a cliche now, like, it's not AI that's taking your job, it's somebody who knows how to use AI that's going to take your job. And eventually maybe AI will take your job, but then you'll get to go do something different. It might be much better in my techno-optimism. But I think the reality is that you have to use it to be effective. Like, it's a criteria for people to hire. And the more skills you have, the better opportunities you have.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so with that, I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you got a lot out of it. I kind of think you did. Rose, I just can't believe how generous you are with your time and your information, and the fact that you're going to allow this audience to, participate in your incredible knowledge about the subject. I think that's it. Signing off. Okay, your website you put there, right? Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you all so much, and happy practicing and having conversations with AI. See you next time.
Thanks so much for watching Get Tech Savvy. And remember, if I can learn it, you can too. Drop your comments and questions below and let me know what else you want to learn about. And please subscribe so that way we can figure all this stuff out together.